Yeah, so where is the start? Welcome you all to 336th meeting of our annual Toastmasters Club. It says empower your voice. So dear Toastmasters and guests, I request you all to stand up for the club's mission statement. It is our club's mission to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Please be seated. So there are some hygiene instructions before we start the meeting. So I request you all to not rub the numbers on the bench because we are having exams in the college tomorrow. And also don't disturb the seating arrangements and let it be as it is. I also request you all to please put your phone on silent and please do not disturb the speakers while the speech is in progress. Do not move in and out of the room and while the speech is in progress and only enter or leave the room when you hear the clap. Drinking water and washrooms are available outside. Now I invite President of the club to officially open the meeting.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am Meenakshi. I am the president of the club. I see some selfies happening there at the back, please. Please click me also. Click me also. And I officially welcome you to the 336th meeting of Annual Toastmasters Club. I see a few guests here in this room. If you could please introduce yourself, your name, how did you come to know about us, and what do you expect from today's meeting? Just three things, very short and sweet.
My name is Jay Mandre, so I got to know of this environment. My goal is to improve my communication.
Thank you.
So my name is Navi. I got to know about this. My wife, she's working at village HOD. And today's session, I know a bit of those questions, but I'm going to experience exactly what I was doing. Thank you.
This is for you.
I am the I know Toastmasters, like I was doing there, I came to Toastmasters, I came back to I was searching for Toastmasters, and I got and I want to learn this project. My communication skills, leadership skills, and
I think of this, I am working in Navi. Basically, so, hello everyone. My name is Navi, and I came to know about this Toastmaster Club. So I was kind of looking for this thing near around Navi, Mumbai, and then I came to know there is one at Watsi and another at Parker. So I connected with one of the folks, one of the participants, and I was like, we have to be on time in this particular video. We are having a working schedule, so it's around 5 o'clock, so I was not able to make it. Today I was like, I will take a leave and go and let's see what is it. I'm here.
Take me leave to attend our meeting. No, yes, okay. Before moving on, I would just like to take a minute to acknowledge the presence of our current district director, Toastmaster Hardik. One of our past division directors, Toastmasters division. The current division director of our very own division M, Toastmaster Anand. This week, when I was in office, I took a 5-minute break to use the washroom. When I came out of the washroom, my boss was standing outside the door of the ladies' washroom, just standing there. Yes, not creepy at all. And when I came out, he hurried towards me and said, "Come on, get the laptop. We need to go to the CEO's office right now and present some numbers." Yes, right now. I thought this is taking a break to use the washroom. And within 2 minutes, I was in the CEO's office. Has this happened to anybody? Not yes, not whether it's I any profession, not just presenting numbers. It could be anything that you do. What do you take away from this situation that I said to you? Don't worry about it. Yes. One thing is that there is no peace to peace, that's for sure. What next? You always prepared. Yes. Yes. Always be prepared. Even if something is spontaneous, you need to always be prepared. That is the takeaway. Because those numbers which I was called on for, I had worked on that 3 months ago. I was sitting there with no context whatsoever. But still I had to. I couldn't say that no, give me some time. I just had to open the laptop and talk about it on the spot. It is the right takeaway is always be prepared. You know what they say? Victory does not favor the righteous, not the wicked. It favors the prepared. Lot of acknowledging not and that is exactly what we do at Toastmasters. We are always prepared. Even if you are called for a table topic, it is necessary that you always be prepared. Thinking on your feet is what is required. And Toastmasters is that platform which teaches you to fail so that you succeed elsewhere in life. One of the meetings that I had attended as a guest, just like many of you here today, somebody had said something very deep, which was 3 years ago, but I still remember. We don't be good at Toastmasters to just be good at Toastmasters. The skill that you get here, we apply it in our everyday lives. And that's why we are so regular, so consistent. Today, throughout the meeting, a lot of questions will be answered. As a guest, I know you have this question, what is in it for me? And as members, you must be having questions, what next? Today's open house especially is going to answer a lot of questions. To carry on the meeting forward, I would like to call upon someone who's like a real life example of the magic of Toastmasters. This person walked into Toastmasters meeting in, I think, July of 2022 as a guest. And we considered her like a baby of our Android business. Those who are laughing know that it's true. We have seen this person grow right in front of our eyes. We have seen her confidence developing from day one till today. And we can see that from the quality of her speeches. Every single speech that she comes here and delivers is better than her previous one. And that is none other than our Toastmaster of the day today, Toastmaster Sakshi. Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi, for such a flattering introduction. So to get started, first of all, a very good evening. A very good evening. Come here on a weekend, on a Saturday, and spend your time with us. Because you could have been anywhere else, maybe sleeping or doing something, but you decided to be. So thank you And I'm sure that this meeting is going to be a worth it. So to get started, I would like to understand from you, how many of you here are for to improve your confidence? I would like to see a raise of hands. Okay, there are many. You want to be a good public speaker, which is a yeah, great. How many of you want to be a great leader? Yes, so many of you. But why Toastmasters? I mean, you could have gone to a YouTube channel. There are so many online coaches, but why Toastmasters? So to get started with that, before that, I would like to share with you who started Toastmasters. And I would like to know who started Toastmasters, not from the ISCOM committee, but from the members and everyone else. Who started Toastmasters? Anyone? Yes, it's Dr. Raj Smith. But you know why he started Toastmasters? So it was in 1903 that when he was working with YMCA, he had a small team of young men. And those young men had the responsibility to teach others. To basically to train others. And he realized that these men, they lacked effective communication. So that's when he started a unique tradition that you can think of. He called them for a dinner. And then he asked them that after dinner, every day he would have toasts. So they would raise a toast and say a few words, and then they would evaluate each. So this was a toasting tradition that they started. And after they started this toasting tradition, the word started spreading. People, the residents, they started coming in, and now this dinner that they used to have every day, they started calling it the dinner club. After dinner club, that's what they actually called. But suddenly, Dr. Raj Smedley, he had this vision. It was not just a dinner club that he wanted, but he wanted people to improve themselves. That was self-improvement and to service. So he decided to go big, and that's when he started Toastmasters in 1924. And there was this misconception that many might not know. People used to go to headquarters of Toastmasters and they used to ask them, do you sell toasters? And he used to get this question. But his executives, they would proudly say, no, we don't. Toastmasters is where leaders come. And that's how Toastmasters started. So now that we know how Toastmasters started and who started Toastmasters, let's understand what is the meeting format. So in usual meeting, what we have is first we usually have a prepared speech session. In prepared speech session, we have a speaker who have prepared for a long period of time. They come and give the speech in front of the club. Then we have table topic session, which is an impromptu session, a quick session where you have to be on your feet. And this is the best for all the guests. And last but not least, we have the general evaluation session. A general evaluation session is where the entire meeting is evaluated and the speakers will be also evaluated. But today, because it is an open house, we have something added to this, and that is see the panel moderators, that is the panel discussion for today, and that is something that we will be having today as well. So to get started, let's call upon the pillars of our meeting. Have a seat. We usually have three pillars of a meeting. That is the tag, the timer, our counter, and the grammarian. So to get started, first let's call upon the grammarian for today. Now the grammarian that will be coming to the stage, she is very chillfully in nature, very fun. She is a TA of profession, and she joined Toastmasters to become the best version of this. So let's call upon Toastmaster Krati Chandravanshi on the stage.
Hello again. How are you doing? I doing good. How is you? How is you all? And how are my English? So grammar plays very important role in your English. And today I am acting here as a grammarian in front of you. So, as a grammarian, it will be my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage, and I will take note of any improper usage of language, as well as any outstanding codes or words used by you. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce to the word of the day and phrase of the day. And I urge you all to use the word of the day and the phrase of the day in the speeches said by you. So for today's meeting, the word of the day is gumption, which means to have courage and in an unpredictable situation. And the phrase of the day is day in and day out. So guys, it takes a lot of gumption for the speakers here to speak, and they prepare day in and day out to deliver a single speech. So I request you all to use the word of the day and phrase of the day and have great usage of grammar. Over to you.
Thank you very much, our grammarian Toastmasters Ravi. So next, I would like to call upon the timer for today. Now she is ACC affiliate by profession. She's a chess, music, and animal lover. And she joined Toastmasters because she wanted to develop her interpersonal skills. So let's call upon Toastmasters. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmaster and analysts. I am PM Divya. I'm the technical. As a timer, my duty is to time the prepared speeches, favorite topics, and evaluations. For prepared speech, the time allotted varies as per the project and already stated by the evaluator. For favorite topics, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. For evaluation, the time is 30 minutes. Need water. People must need this. I will display the green card at the minimum qualifying time, the yellow card at the midpoint of the qualifying line, and the red card at the end of this at the maximum qualifying time. The case for base time for prepared speech and evaluation is 30 seconds grace before the minimum qualifying time and after the maximum. For degree topics, there is grace of 30 seconds only after the red card is displayed. All speakers who continue to speak beyond 30 seconds grace will not qualify. I will report the time taken by the speakers when called upon.
Thank you for the app introduction. As a next, I would like to call upon our counter for today, Toastmaster Monisha. Now she has very unique interests like horse riding and dancing, and she is currently pursuing CA. So let's call upon our next our counter for today, Toastmaster Monisha.
Hi everyone, myself is Vani and I'm the accountant for today's meeting. For me, today my job is day in, day out to help everyone improve their speech by lesser use of filler words and filler phrases, which are such words are filler words but like so okay, filler phrases you know and so, and extreme long and short words. I would be noting down each and every aspects of filler words and crutch words, and I will be giving my report when called.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhwani. Now, I would like to ask you all that have you faced pride when you're talking to people one-on-one? There are few. Have you faced pride when you're talking to a group of? Okay, and then on the stage, yes. So we do face pride day in and day out. But I joined Toastmasters for the same reason. So today I'm actually celebrating 1 year anniversary because I gave my first icebreaker speech on 18th of February 2023. Where is this shirt? That thing I remember because we are so scared. And on that, I had to introduce myself to the club. What I did my 12th standard, what I did during my college, I was. I had 3 long pauses. That's what my grammarian said. And after that, I was so scared. I couldn't. And that day, I blamed one thing for that day. I blamed the shirt. After that, shirt. And after that, this day, on like I'm wearing the shirt again. Thank you. But it is because I feel empowered. And all because of Toastmasters. So the next, I would like to move towards one of the exciting sessions for today, that is the panel discussion. But before that, let's call upon the evaluator who will be moderating our panel moderator. So let's call upon Toastmaster who have taken various club officer roles, who is also a district officer, and he has taken many officer roles as well. And he has around 3 years of experience in Toastmasters. And he has around 14 years of experience in electronic engineering. So let's call upon our evaluator, Toastmaster, and on the stage. Thank you.
The member would be attempting level 5 project 1 from the Market Strategic Relationship. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply persons as a public speaker and leader to facilitate the panel discussion. I will please note the speech length is 20 to 40 minutes.
Now I want to see some energy in the room. If I see you have to raise your left, I tell you to raise your left hand, you have to raise your right hand. Basically, you have to do the opposite. So let's get started, right? Left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Thank you. Thank you for dancing. Our panel moderator. Now she is the most enthusiastic person that I've known in my entire life. She's so helpful. Yes, she has been helpful. Anytime that we need a caller, she'll be always there. So she is a freelance recruiter. She has 14 years of experience in HR. And she has a very unique story how she got introduced to Toastmasters. So she had this one friend who came to Toastmasters and he completely transformed. And that inspired her to join the Toastmasters. So let's call upon our panel moderator for this evening, Toastmaster Libby on the stage.
Welcome to this very special meeting, which we Toastmasters love to call Openhouse. What we do in this meeting is we literally open our houses to welcome our guests so that they can understand exactly what happens in Toastmasters and how it benefits us. That is one important thing about Toastmasters. Toastmasters is completing its 100 years this year. Now, if an organization has to last for 100 years, it definitely must be doing something right. And with this panel discussion, that is what I am trying to figure out. What is that Toastmasters is doing right, and why is it that a lot of Toastmasters keep coming back to it? We have members who are more than 5 years plus in Toastmasters. I've been here for 9 years. I'm sure they become communicators, good leaders, but they still keep coming back. Why is it that they come back? That is what I'm attempting to discover through this panel discussion.
So, like I was introduced, I'm Vijay Abraham, and I will be in conversation with three very distinguished Toastmasters. We will attempt to find out why many of us still come back to Toastmasters. Let me introduce our first panelist, Toastmaster Shijin Sriram. He is an associate partner and head for growth and partnerships at OD Alternatives. Shijin is a seasoned professional in the space of leadership development and organization transformation. He is a gold medalist from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences in organization development and change. He has also taken up several leadership positions in Toastmasters. Your choice. Let me just check. Our second panelist is none other than Toastmaster Hardik Shah. Now, Hardik is an All India rank holder chartered accountant with over 30 years of experience in setting up new business verticals, rationalizing costs, creating new revenue streams, and streamlining operational processes. He was the CEO at MP Educate in his last corporate stint. He is currently serving as the District Director of District 98, which covers Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. Now, I would like to introduce somebody who basically doesn't need an introduction in Annual Toastmasters. He is the backbone of our club, DTM Vinay Srivastava. He is a procurement professional with almost 30 years of experience and currently working in Blue Dart as the Vice President. He joined Toastmasters around 8 years back and has served in several ExCom positions. Apart from that, he's also been part of the district leadership as an area director, division director, welcome. I'd like to start by asking basic questions. Each of Shijin, why did you join the
I basically have no idea why I joined. It was in 2011. I was attending a youth conference for a different purpose. Somebody saw me speaking and came and asked me, am I a member of Toastmasters? That was the first time I got to know. When I went to Toastmasters, what I realized was that before entering the Toastmasters club, Guru Toastmasters was the club which I went. I was always thinking I can and I am a pro speaker. It was a mix of arrogance and a mix of overconfidence, I would say. I was doing good. Toastmasters, when I entered, I saw that it is a platform where you really unlearn and learn something. That is the vivid memory I have. And when the first time I entered Toastmasters, I saw a place where everybody is wanting you to be successful, which is unlike the world outside. So I always say that there are two worlds. One is inside the club and outside. So in Toastmasters, everybody wants you to be successful, no matter who you are. So I really don't know why I joined Toastmasters. Then I always say that there are some reasons it's better that you don't discover because outcomes are so beautiful that you're not bothered about it.
Thank you so much. So, what about you? What was your opinion?
Well, honest response to everybody.
Honest.
No,
Definitely not a good.
When I was 16, I had just quit my previous job and I was exploring new opportunities to socialize and meet people and all the way.
So I want to say make some new friends while going to an environment, and I was just searching on that, and I came across Toastmasters forum. And I happened to attend a meeting. There was numerous speech content at that point of time. And that's just how the journey started. I think the idea was just to meet in that people. Like Shijin mentioned, I was a little scared on stage. Right? The fear of how the people also not scary in terms of public and speaking aggressive, but how you articulate was a journey that happened to us, which I didn't know that I needed. So that's how it started off, and that's how it's still moving.
The thing I think wrong set of findings for people expecting spotlight. None of them seem to have any medium with it.
Let's exchange what we
So again, I was always very active in terms of taking training and sessions in my office. Right from my first job, 1994. That year I was taking trainings and I was doing procurement, but I was a part of the training initiative in each organization. Then something happened in 2014. In 2014, in Durad, the head of the customer service was retiring. And we had organized a farewell function. And typical like how Toastmasters started, everybody was saying few words about her. And when I was asked to speak, I just said, all the best, have a great career, have a great retired life. That's it. I could not say anything, even though all those who were present were people of, they were my peers, all head of the departments and functional heads, but I could not say anything. That made me, start thinking that I cannot speak of different things, about my topic, subject, procurement. You wake me up and I'm speaking, but apart from that, I was not able. Then one of my friends joined Toastmasters in Pune. Toastmaster really and she started pushing me that Vinay joined Toastmasters, he'll love it. For 1 year she did. And I was at that point of time traveling out of suitcase. Literally 20 days in a month I was traveling. But she used to send me her speeches just for correction. And I think I corrected her or I just contributed in her speeches till P6. At that point of time, it was the traditional number. So P6, P7, and then I said, no, I got to come. And I came to Agnon next to her. I was frightened, honestly. But for me, it was love at first sight. And I did not give any speeches for 3 months, 4 months. But one thing was definitely there that I became an ExCom member. The next month I joined this. And since then, in 8 years, I've always either been in ExCom, Club ExCom, or District. Anyways, that's
For me, like our Toastmaster of the day mentioned, I joined because I thought on a remarkable transformation in a friend of mine. What I joined thinking that I might teach. I realized after joining so many more benefits. It was not just communication that changed. There was something so much more that changed in me. I'm sure that would have been for each one of you when you joined. First, I would like to ask Toastmaster Shipin. Beyond the personal growth that Toastmaster, how can young professionals contribute? Toastmasters contribute to the young professionals in terms of their growth in their organization.
I would say, first of all, ask that why do you join? Right? Somebody said stage fear, somebody said improve good communication. One more element which I would say is that to build long-lasting relationships. So, because there's something called as social capital. These two gentlemen, I know them for almost 2 years. Let me talk about Vinayji. I call him Vinayji, not India. Because that is why I address. I call him Hardik. Vinayji, there's a very strong memory I have. He works in Bhutan at a very senior leadership position. I don't know whether he remembers. There was an issue with one of the couriers, personal courier. Because from Bhutan. If it would have gone to a place, it would have been a disaster. One in 10 a.m. I call him. He is nowhere responsible to manage my career. Let me tell you very clearly. Literally, the position in which he sits, he can't even see what is, when he feels that. But he picked up my call and message and explained him the problem. Within 15 minutes, the right person called me and everything in half an hour it was. The point I'm saying is that these relationships are very important, not for any career opportunities or growth. We have never explained those with them. Point is that it really helps the younger people to get an access. Now, this chap, he's an history director. Okay, I got to know it. He lost an investor. Generally, what happens, I'm a little outspoken when it comes to the personal skill fraternity. People after, these two gentlemen are different. People after they don't make it to the leadership level, after they lose or they just lose from those skills. Okay. I completed my tenure and I didn't go further and I had my own things, that's the reason. But sometimes people, no, they start blaming the system. And everything is bad. After that point, everything was good. Suddenly, then everything was good. He continued his contribution in today's history. That is something we can learn. If you are one failure, but how can you fail? Vinay, for that matter, he still writes on the board. I was so that's servant leadership. If anybody youngsters want to learn, TM, either is PQD. Yeah. PQD is one of the second most important positions. What has done? He has been in still. So, social capital, one thing which you can build a lifelong relationship. I have many lifelong relationships with masters. Second is that you can really learn about servant leadership without influence. Our boss was outside the washroom. Okay, it's a boss first he heard him. Because there is a hierarchical authority. District director is outside the washroom, you will not listen. Because he is not paying. But if he can get work done from you, that is something is there. If people can come down for a meeting like an area director, nobody is paid, you can learn this certification. Toastmasters teaches you very fundamentally. It instills some humanness in us. It instilled in me. It removed my lot of arrogance. Still, I am arrogant and outspoken, but it tamed me a lot. Social capital, relationships are very important. Other skills you can learn in you, but that you don't need. For relationships, this is a place. It can take you to anywhere you go.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shijan. I mean, I completely echo your feelings when it comes to BPM Vinay. We all look up to him whenever, I mean, no job is small. And continuing from what you said, I think you are the district director now. What is it that you see? I mean, like you said, you been there for so long. What has motivated you to dedicate your time and energy to Toastmasters? I mean, and
It's the title job. Service any like even if you look at customer service organization, the title job. I think for me, one thing that has helped me is become a lot more patient with the business. I have been very impatient. People who knew me 4 years back, I'm sure they will very fast. And when I started my journey to this market, I've been extremely impatient in terms of driving results and all that. But I think over the years I've realized I need to very point like that, that if I'm able to work with individuals who are motivated to do something without getting paid for it, in organizations that get paid for it, the results are way more amplified in terms of power. And I think this helped me build my executive presence in organizations as well. Like I could demand a position. The last position that I was there, I was with the company for almost 2 years. I was less than 2 years actually, I was honest. And my boss had resigned from his company and he was moving out. On his last day, I asked him for a promotion. And I was given that promotion. He went out and got that. So adding to the fact that you're able to build that relationship with individuals, understand how to do that, and demand on the spot positions and get your way with people across different levels, different tenures, is something that helped me a lot in the last couple of years. But I think the most important thing is communication.
I will definitely test your patience in the coming few months.
That's what I said. I was not patient.
She's the elegant.
Then you get really patient.
When in terms of Toastmasters, like what you said, that people thought Toastmasters, Toastmasters, but there are some people who think it's just a public speaking club or somewhere you can come and improve your English. What is it that you would tell these people? What is it that you can get for a number?
Plus whatever they are. But, for me, we were chatting on WhatsApp and plus. But over a number, I don't know, maybe I think like you were saying that I learned how to handle failure. Okay, and this was one of the biggest learnings from me. As I was not per se arrogant like he's saying, at least I feel so. But I wasn't proud and going after one step to another step. And then for the district director, I lost there. And then it happened that next day, and just before that, myself and Sijin, we were collaborating and we were working very hard for a LMS platform. And first time in the history of Toastmasters, for any district, any LMS apart from the LMS of TI, something else was approved. And the senior directors of TI were on the other side. Myself, I was in Jaipur attending DOTP, and Sijin was in Mumbai, and we convinced them. And it was brilliant. Told me this is the first time ever it has. We built an excellent platform. At least I thought so. Purchases training module for club officers training module, and it was something which we were in the process of developing. And then I lost the election. But then the only thing which came in my mind that we have to make the district successful. And I was somebody who was like who was into dashboard. I was daily studying the dashboard, the movement of the clubs, the DCP points, how they are moving, which clubs, and I used to send individual mails to each and every club as a PQD saying that this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do in order to become distinguished. So failure, I did not let it affect me. I just immersed myself in work, more work, and by the end of June, last day of the June, when the Toastmaster session was over, and that was the pandemic year. We were distinguished district. We were third district. We were number 3 in terms of program quality excellence. In the history of District 98, that was the year 180 clubs became distinguished. 70% of the clubs were distinguished. So that was such a satisfying feeling for me as a PQD. So hard work never ever always pays off. And handling failure is something which I learned.
When I speak with MMA leaders like yourself, I'm reminded how I became a leader in the club. I actually pushed into it and I didn't want to take it. But that 1 year when I was the VP membership for the club, that has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I learned so many aspects of myself which I didn't even know existed. Now, you guys are all leaders in your respective professional fields. Toastmaster Karthik, as a chartered accountant with extensive experience in leadership, how did Toastmasters help you specifically in your professional journey?
So I think 2 parts of Toastmasters for that, right? One is the evaluation feedback of functions that like some of the team members will not always be as well you want them to be. But one way to tell them is that to one style of leadership is throw papers and you understand go and do this again. This is not how it's supposed to be. Second is to tell them very subtly that you should do that. You're not good at it, but please go back and do it. At least you get the goal right.
Eventually it's important to drive results. You can't keep delaying the outputs on a long basis. You can't keep firing people every day because your benchmark will be higher than the benchmark. So are you able to group people to come to that? There's a very interesting management formula called 60, 10, 70 or 70, 10, 80, what they call that. So find someone who's 60% as good as you, train them for 10%, make them 70%, leave it at that. Do not expect everybody to be 100% empowered or everything because then you will never ever be successful and second is in terms of the fact that get the person involved and invested in this is their failure with the So I was seeing a show yesterday, Sunday was there. There's a very interesting anecdote over there that before the competition, Guruji ke pair shuru. The Guruji is invested in your success and he's the judge. So if you fail, it's his failure more than your failure. So if you get your team invested, then the team is your idea, not my idea. It's your idea, but you're planting in their brains. And they say it's my idea. And then they are more invested. This is my failure if it does not succeed and not the team's failure. But I know all this work done. So that is one thing I've learned that how you get your team involved by saying that you have the idea already, but you want to hear from their mouth. And that has been very successful in terms of me getting. So at the last organization, for example, we were cash flow negative for the last 6 months if I took over the job. Because ऐसे ही चलता आ रहा है, ऐसे चलता रहेगा. So then I told them after 3 months the company will shut down. If this is going to go on, how can we change it? So then they used to come with ideas. And I already knew which idea I had to do. So they will come with 7 ideas. I will let's try these 3 ideas first. You will save my list. But you said it. So you can't go back and say this is not. And that has helped a lot in bridging gap. And within 3 months of taking on charge, we became cash flow positive. In 5 months, we met our 90% of our 12-month targets. Because the same idea was started by them and they are invested as their own idea. So they are equally invested in the success of the ownership. Ownership comes. What's in it for you? I got the answer ask me. What's in it for me to be part of? If you're able to put that thought in their brains, that this is it for me, it's a great idea. I can't fail. Taking away the thought that the company is failing or my boss is failing versus saying I am failing. It makes a lot of difference in terms of the conversation that we have. And then the conversation can be right.
Thank you. Now I can relate to a lot of things.
I can't recording. I need to not make you.
Okay, fine. This was a message that you specialize in leadership development and organization transformation. How do you see Toastmasters contributing to the movement of the
Not because in Toastmasters I had done a big project for that. It was 8,000 Toastmasters across district 98, being going through values recognition. So what I say is that this is a laboratory. You get enough opportunities to experiment leadership skills. Take smaller projects in the club, and that is how I transitioned myself. So from Toastmasters, I got to know about my domain little more because, like relationships, I met some leaders. There, I navigated and pursued my post-graduation from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. The connection is Toastmasters. From there, I did a lot of projects inside Toastmasters, outside Toastmasters, through the networks I built within and outside Toastmasters. And today I'm working in one of the top companies. So what I'm saying is that this is the epicenter with which I am sitting here today. I owe a lot of Toastmasters. And Toastmasters doesn't need anybody else. You know why? Because it's a 100-year-old law. 15, 20 employees run Toastmasters. Have you ever imagined why still it is working? Because there are selfless leaders who just live for rise the values. No money value. Nobody takes a single money. Many of them don't even claim their trial. I know that. We are good. Toastmaster doesn't need any of it. We need Toastmasters. That is the second thought I have always kept in. And third, from this space, what Hardik said, I need to. Toastmasters gives you something that has given me something what I call as some stability in that thought process. like that you don't have to communicate to impress, you have to communicate to express. And Toastmasters that taught me that communication is less about me and more about the other person. If I'm an eloquent speaker and if other person doesn't even understand what I'm saying, or I can't have that one-on-one with them in an effective manner, no matter whoever I am listening. So this skills really plays a vital role. Yesterday I was in discussion with the CHR of a multi-million dollar company very in Bombay, where I recommended the leadership to be a part of it. So that is how Toastmasters really helped my work, and still it is helping. And I take it with pride and say that I am a Toastmaster. Even though I don't attend meetings, but I renew every cycle. And this I am doing for the past 4 years. I don't attend, I have attended hardly, the past 4 years I have attended hardly 4-3 meetings, but I renew because just for the love of being a part of it. I don't want to be known as ex-Toastmaster.
That is really commendable. I would membership.
This is the place where I have won a lot of contests. So I remember this place right from the days when I think the founder of Annual Toastmasters, he was there. Sukumar, yes. So that was the time.
Begin with, and you are the procurement head at Mumbai. Now, with respect to your job, a lot of challenging negotiations and things have to be done. How does Toastmasters help you with those negotiations or to build strong relationships that would ideally be required in your role as a leader?
I have been into theatre in my heydays. When I was younger, when I had much more care. And one very interesting thing in theatre is observation, body language. And I used to be a very keen, avid student of body language. If I'm sitting in a train, I'm sitting at a bus stop. It's so fun to watch people talk, body language, the way they move. So for me, when Toastmasters came, everything that I was doing in a very unstructured way, and this was giving much more structure. When somebody is coming to negotiate, very simple, very simple things, the way he is putting his hand, his legs, the way he is moving, when he is coming, how he is behaving, what he is asking. There are so many things which you observe, and that's how you take it. The second thing which I probably applied in Toastmasters in my feedback. Now, feedback I used to give, but not in the way once in a month or once in a blue moon, that kind of. The current scenario is that the moment something happens, I'll get a feedback later. Some positive, negative, whatever, immediate feedback is given, and the team really appreciates that. Now they don't treat me as a boss, they treat me as a mentor, as a coach. There's been a long time, at least 3 years, 4 years, when I'm not active. When I'm saying not active, I just push people, I just guide people, I don't negotiate. I don't sit in meetings for negotiation. I don't go for active, all these kind of things. I have a team of 50, 60 people across the country who go and do that. My goal is just to guide them, just to make sure I handle more than 600, 700 crores. Now, though I am responsible for everything, but I don't sit in each place. That's how I'm creating small replicas of myself. I still remember when I became media director. Then Ravi was the district director, and I was interacting with Ravi and Venkata sir, and they said that then you need to create more billionaires, and that's how you will grow. Because when these billionaires will grow, you will be much more lighter in terms of workload, and you will be able to coach more. And that's what my focus is now.
The guy is talking about Ravi is half of his age. He should give humility the feedback for Ravi. Ravi was telling me, मैंने बोला किसको बोला पता है? But that's what Toastmaster is. He was not addressing Ravi, he was addressing the district director. But that's what we learned from the people out in Toastmaster community.
Like I said, what I have learned is being a Toastmaster is enough. go to a conference, for a person. But just the fact that those are absolutely go and speak to that person. You don't have to hold back. That is one of the biggest advantages of Toastmasters that I have seen. Now we have a lot of guests here. I would like to ask each one, what would you ask them to do?
You should answer both because you as a media thing.
No, I think, yeah, going back to the path that I joined, I think it's around 16. It's a slow poison. If you're expecting results in next 3 months, it's not going to get it. Right? So it's, you have to be patient when you come, you're part of this community like this. And you know, to be actively present in meetings if you're okay. Coming once in a month, coming once in 4 years doesn't work. But after give you chances to experiment at no cost to you. And if you fail, there's so many people will tell you what went wrong. There are ideas I have worked over here which I have implemented back in the office also. For example, in Toastmasters we have clubs, right? 100 clubs in the areas and zones, and then the area director division sector. At my last organization, we had around 60 coaching centers. So in that also I divided into areas and zones and divisions, and I can give them a number, target number of members, and so when giving these numbers back to that. There's something over here, every role that you pick up is going to help you hold some skill which you possibly not able to do. Like I'm a hardcore introvert, so sales doesn't come naturally. But I'm still interacting with at least one CHRO every third day, pitching Toastmasters, messing up some conversations with them, still walking out more confident the next time I go. In your office, if I'm doing a procurement deal and if I pay 100 or so of 10 crore deal, I'll be fired next. You will be fired over here. So get one more chance to do that. So that's why it is so many Toastmasters that don't just be a member by paying membership fees. There's a lot of juice to extract within the club and outside the club by getting a lot of use the platform to experiment your ideas outside over here. And that's just the start.
I would say, don't think much, be a member. Not that because club is starving for members. So I said, no, clubs don't do anything. There's an angle, 330. I've seen angle from this country, one of the topmost clubs in the country, I was. Why did you just take a plunge? Because we all did. Once you take a plunge, you realize that you are able to discover. Because what we discovered, you may discover something new. But then one thing, let me tell you, if an institution is there for 100 years almost, with so much servant leadership across the globe, everything will be there. And then when you are in Toastmasters, I would always use this phrase, don't take a shower wearing a raincoat. Don't take a shower wearing a raincoat. What is that? Standing there and sitting, no participation, and then you say, you may learn little, but take up roles and everything, then you will discover yourself. Because it's all about being of a leader. This doesn't teach you XYZ or a PPT of leadership. In Toastmasters, you will experience being of a leadership. Because leadership is always learned by doing. It is not by learned by seeing. If that was the case, then everybody would have been Steve Jobs. Right? Reading books, okay, but this teaches you the being of the leadership. So take a membership wherever you are, come here, and every meeting you see to that, be absolutely shameless in asking for a speaking comment. Otherwise, you don't come to do something, an accountant role, or evaluator role, a speaker role, or a table topic, do something. If you don't get anything, speak to 4 guests and pitch those things. That's what I used to do. I used to do that. Shamelessly. So because that is how you extract, like you said, otherwise, and let me tell you one thing. This, if at all anybody is selfish, no, Toastmaster will make you selfish. Trust me.
With that, I would like to open this to the guests. If any of you have any questions for our guests. Yes, anybody? Members also, I mean, when I'm saying yes, a lot of you. Yeah. Now, this question that both parents looking from the outside in. One thing that I've heard people say is Toastmasters looks like a time vessel. It takes a lot of time and effort. Time it takes. Is it worth it? Why do you say this? Secondly, time ultimately is finite. How do you recommend it be managed?
So, Sangeeta should be addressed to all three of you. I'd like that give you a minute to answer it because of quantitative time.
What happens is that whenever I used to interact with anybody, I used to say my first priority is my family. My second priority is my job, which gives me money. And my third priority is Toastmasters. After both these things, if I have any energy left, then I do work for Toastmasters. It is all about prioritizing. Like I was saying, I used to travel 15-20 days in a week, in a month, and I was thinking that I will not have time. But during this period itself, when I was the president of Agron Toastmasters, I was also the area director. I took up both the roles simultaneously in that. It's all about how you are managing your time. It's all about how you are prioritizing. Time guzzling, if you are wasting time, if you are not prioritizing or whatever you are required to do, you are going beyond that in terms of your gossip and parties and all. So, especially, then it is time. But in last 8 years at least, since I've been in Toastmasters, I've been in a very senior active leadership position, which during the entire pandemic, I was physically going to office. I did not work from home at all, but still I managed PPT position at that point. It's all about managing. It's all about managing how you manage yourself, how you manage your time. That's it.
Any other questions?
Thank you so much for coming here. What a journey we have seen how leaders are made in Toastmasters. We've learned about social capital, we've learned servant leadership, how so many of our leaders are into service and providing servant leadership. We learned how we can handle failure. You become a Toastmaster, you learn how to handle failure. So all in all, what I have to say is, if you are thinking, what do I do next? I would say attend our next meeting. Remember, the journey from stage fright to spotlight happens only if you come on stage. And we invite you to admit Toastmasters Club and to use the stage that we are providing on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Navi. Let's give a round of applause to them. To our panel moderator and to our panelists for sharing their insights. These were the insights from so many years because they have contributed to Toastmasters for a very long time. And these insights are coming from us. So as you probably know that from our panelists that we learn to speak. And throughout my journey, I learned something personally, that something touched me, was that certain aspects of Toastmasters. These are certain dimensions that I actually loved about Toastmasters. So I would like to introduce them to you personally, one by one. So the first dimension starts with B. Can you guess what can B be? Or what can B would sound like? Or what that word could be? W-E. B.
Victory.
Victory, okay.
B.
Winner. Let's say it is someone need to speak up. Speaking up. Voice, okay. Yes, close. But what B? Vocal. Oh, you got that. So I'm going to say B stands for vocalize. It helps you to speak up your ideas, speak up your thoughts, to write speeches, and to think out of the box. So to give a live example of what thinking of writing speeches and of sharing your ideas to the audience sounds like, let's go to our next session, which is the prepared speech session. But before that, let's call upon the evaluator for today. So the evaluator who will be evaluating our prepared speaker. She is the co-founder of Australia. She is very disciplined as a person. She is very happy, jolly, financial planning advisor, economics educator, and she joined Toastmasters because she found her tribe. So let's call upon Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, who will be evaluating our prepared speaker for today.
Hello, am I audible? Toastmasters guest, Namaskar. The speaker today is attempting level 3 project 2. And the purpose of this project is to use language and nuance to intensify interest and impact of speech. No better speaker I can think of. Far to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you very much. So before we proceed with the prepared speech, I would like to make certain announcements. That is a reminder to everyone who is now there in the room. One reminder, there's a reminder, we have circulated an attendance sheet. Ensure that you are writing your name in that sheet. 1, 2, keeping your phones on silent. I would request all of you to keep your phones on silent. And 3, and only enter the room when you hear an appearance. Yes? So 1 is writing your name in the sheet. 2, keeping your phones on silent. And 3, entering the room only when you hear an appearance. Perfect? Perfect. So now let's call upon our prepared speaker. Now what can I say about her? She's someone who is very ambitious. Whenever I meet her, I know that she has already leveled up. Maybe be it running marathons or be it in a personal life, I've always seen her as a very ambitious person who keeps stepping up every time, and she is an epitome of how inspiring is. She's a CA and CFA by profession. She's a Bharatanatyam dancer, leader, trekker, runner, and she joined Toastmasters during COVID because she was free. But now she's the president of our club. So let's call upon our prepared speaker for today, Toastmaster Meenakshi Charan. Done it before, Toastmaster Meenakshi. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Orca Diet Club. Let's start with a round of introductions. Said this friendly guy, Miguel, standing right in front of me, topless, only wearing a swimming trunk. His body so picture perfect. He's perfectly cut. His fat abs. So perfect that it would put Michelangelo's statue David to shame. Everybody then started. This is my first time again. Hi, is my first. Looks. Not just done once, but thrice. Rashi from India, and this is my third time. And I thought, yeah, but I face next morning, John, we all assembled on time, sharp, looking in our time costumes. The yellow ball rising from the horizon. It felt like a perfectly imperfect semicircle. The sand on which we were walking towards the beach was so soft, felt like walking on a pile of cotton candies. And the water so crystal clear that it felt like I could see my own feet below the water. Blue, blue, blue. What's blue? It's your blue. We could all see them. We sat on the ship and reached the middle of the ocean, where we anchored the ship. Then Miguel started teaching us about the equipment. This is for connects to the oxygen mask which you will be putting in your mouth. This is the oxygen cylinder which you will be carrying in your bags. This is the gauge wherein you can measure the temperature of how much oxygen is left in your cylinder. He also taught us how to clean our masks so that we could see clearly underwater. And last but not the least, how to neutralize our ears to get rid of the pressure. I was thinking, it's for all those first timers, yeah. I think I have done this before. Why is he telling me? Tubes again. I stood there at the brink of the ship, waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. I plug in the mouth guard of my oxygen cylinder, take a deep breath, close my eyes, and just take in the breeze. I go in deeper, deeper, 4 meters, 8 meters, 12 meters. With each meter that I went below, it was a completely new world. Tons and tons of fish. Of them. So, orange fish, yellow fish, green fish, black and white fish, which look like a zebra. A tiny little octopus, pink colored, 8 hands. The very famously known as clownfish, which we also called as the Finding Nemo fish. Right there in front. Miguel hands me a piece of bread. I stretch my hand. Bread is gone. She got to experience the slimy touch of the fish with my own hands. When all this was happening, suddenly, some horses named horse, they were underwater. And it heard his voice. It was a school of sea horses just swimming away. What an experience. We were about 30 minutes underwater, and then we came back to land. All of us just celebrated with high fives and hugs. Those noobs were celebrating their first time. Well, for me, it was my third. My guts. Yes. What? I was quite occupied. Constantly wondering, how could this happen to me? After all, I had done it before. None of this happened to those first timers. Why did it happen? And then I got to the answer that nature has its own way of teaching us humility. Every time we travel, it's like we explore a completely new world which we are oblivious to. Exploring different cultures, different language, different cuisines. This is what travel teaches us. Humility. For example, a baker would have baked like hundreds of cakes and still burn his 101st. A math teacher who has solved n number of problems can still get one. It's just like that. I have done n number of times of driving, but that one time when I felt that I was not grounded, this is what happened to me. The idea is to stay humble, stay grounded. Treat each time like it's your first. And today, I am certified open water diver, which means that I can dive with my own set of equipment without any instructor up to 2 meters. When someone asks me, how do I go on with this? I slightly smile and well, before, but each time I keep an open mind as if it's my See, I told you that I was right when I told the counselor that she keeps leveling up every time. So as a next step, before we proceed to the next session, he says, let's have a quick small break and then we all can come here back again. But there's an announcement. After this break, we'll be getting together to our most exciting thrilling session, which is the table topic session.